So we'll just start off with Neville Goddard and the law of assumption. Imagining the wish fulfilled, right? We all kind of know how this works, right? You live from the point of the wish already being fulfilled, of everything already happening that you wished happened. Okay, so now I'm going to shift gears and go to, I'll just use Eckhart Tolle as the primary resource for this, but living in the moment, right? There is no time other than the moment we are in. If we remember something from the past, we are remembering it in this moment. If we anticipate something from the future, we are bringing the future idea, or the idea of the future, into the present moment. We only have the present moment. And that's why Neville Goddard says in the law of assumption to live as though the wish is fulfilled in the present moment, right? So we only have the present moment, period. That's all we have. Now, Bashar talks about your life already being done, as though it were a movie film. And even though the movie is completely done and on that film, we only perceive the frame, the single frame that we're in at the moment, which goes in alignment with living in the moment, right? So the movie's already done, but we have to get to the last frames of the movie to get to the end of the movie, right? So many of us don't like waiting. We don't like sitting here in the middle of the movie wishing for the end of the movie. We believe we're the multimillionaire. We believe that we own the house. We believe we've married our perfect soulmate. We believe we have the body we want. We believe we have the skills we want. We believe we have the influence or the power, or whatever it is. We believe that is our life. Let's just stick with the law of assumption. Yes, I live in a $7 million mansion, right? And we picture it, and we can feel the velvet sofa from the library, and we can smell the fine meal cooking in the kitchen with our personal private chef cooking it, all right? So that's our present moment perception, and we believe in it, and we trust in it, and we live in it. And then we look at the present moment that reality gives us, and it's not that moment, okay? It doesn't mean that moment doesn't exist yet. It's the frames at the end of the movie, okay? It's already done. We will be in that house with that private chef and that library. And so we believe both, right? We believe in the law of assumption. We believe of living in that moment of everything, the wish fulfilled. And yet we also understand that we live in the moment we are in because it's the only moment there is. And this is not opposed as much as it's coming across in the way I'm explaining it, but this is to get to a bigger truth, get to a bigger point. So if we're going back to the movie idea, right? We're living within those single frames, and you're like, I just want to be at the end of the movie where I have everything, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So let's think about some movies that we've seen, right? Like for F1, the new movie with Brad Pitt that just came out. The last scene is him driving a car in the Baja area of Mexico, right? He's not in the race yet. He's just driving it. The scene right before that is he's in Formula One, just won a race, and he has just tears flowing out of his eyes. He's so happy about it, right? if we just saw the end of that movie and just saw that last scene of him driving the car in Baja, and let's say we only watched the first 10 minutes of it, and then we skipped right to the end, we would literally think that he took that flyer, which is where the movie started, where he was driving to be a driver in the race in Baja. And then all of a sudden we're at the end of the movie where he's at the dunes practicing to be the driver in the race at Baja, right? You have no idea what happened in the movie in between those. You had no idea of the character growth. You had no idea of what he went through. You had no idea of the camaraderies and the lessons he taught, and the lessons he learned, and the love he had, and his friend that now has a secure job. None of that would, you literally miss the whole movie. So let's say we just go to the scene right before that where he's racing in the Formula One race, and he just won, and he has tears coming down his face. Well, you go back to the beginning of the movie and you're like, he was gonna go race in Baja. What the hell just happened, right? Like what story transpired between the two? And you'd have to go back and watch that movie to understand why that scene matters, okay? The context to get to those final scenes is what makes that final scene important. It makes it mean something. It makes it, a movie you enjoyed watching. And think of how many other movies there are like this. The first Star Wars, the last scene in the movie, they're standing there getting medals around their neck. And if you skipped from the beginning or the first 15 minutes because you didn't feel like watching it all to that point, you would have no idea what happened. It went from war in space to some teenager or whatever on some desert island to all of a sudden he's standing on a pedestal in front of a queen with a big tall woolly thing, and he's getting medals. You have no idea what happened, right? Sleepless in Seattle, right? At the end they meet, they fall in love, they realize who they are, right? You would never understand any of that movie. Same with Forrest Gump, same with literally any movie. And so that's from the outside, right? We watch his movies to get to that end scene, and we're like, oh, that's why Brad Pitt was crying at the end of that race, or that's why they were getting the medals at the end of the Star Wars, or you understand. Let's go to the first Matrix movie, right? Neo is this computer programmer at this blasé company, right? No big deal. And then all of a sudden, at the end of the movie, he's dressed in a black trench coat with glasses, and he's talking on a cell phone, and then he flies. Okay, so it would make no sense. You'd have no context. Like, is he in is it a video game? Is he dreaming? You have no parameters or context to understand what the story was to get there, right? And now let's talk about something else I've heard too, and I can't remember. I've heard this multiple places. I'll just go with Mike Dooley. He was one of the guys in The Secret, but he talks about treating your life as though it's a movie. You're in the movie. You not only are you the main star of the movie, but you're also the one writing the movie, right? So if you were in the first Matrix movie and you're Neo and you're sitting at your computer and you fell asleep making bogus